The EEPROM 9. I have to say I'm really loving this setup for filming. It's like the perfect lazy man setup who doesn't want to do much editing. But anyway, that's not the subject of the video that we're going about. Let's move those probes out of the way. But we have this. Now, some of you may recognise it from my live stream because it's based on the Nixie flowers, and they flicker and they look awesome, and they took like a week to burn in, and they look awesome, and I have them next to my bed. They're almost like a kind of night light for me, and that went completely off shot for you guys because I'm not used to doing it like this. But yeah, they're awesome. And, you know, I love the fact that I've used a completely 100% recycled thing. Even one of these bases is kind of half recycled. Like, these are bases I designed for my solar lights in the garden. But the thing I don't like about it is it kind of looks completely and utterly trashy. And the trashy, like, ghetto style was more of the style I used to go by when I lived back with my parents in their house. Now I have my own house and we've upped slightly in our classiness. You know, we're still pretty trashy. We like our junk food and all that, but we kind of want to have less. But I'll show you it running because it does work. And it won't be too amazingly active because it gets a bit camera shy when it's in highlight environments such as the workbench. But it gives you an idea that they all like flicker all night long. And my mum was going through Hobbycraft and found this rather nice little specimen. Plastic globe, so won't be broken by being knocked off the bedside cabinet by, well, I punch an elbow in the middle of the night, you know. My brother has many funny stories of a night spent in bed with me and being woken up by an elbow to the face. In fact, my ex was pretty much the same as me to sleep with, and yeah, being woken up to an elbow to the face is not fun. I can see why my brother complained for all these years, and having all the quilts stolen. It was like tug of war of the quilts with me and Aidan, but hey. All's well that has been well over there. So how much have we got there? Yeah, there we go. So now we got more of the fourth then. So we're basically going to transfer this circuit into here. Now there's a few little quirks to get past, which may or may not be a problem depending on how thick the wire wants to be, that I might resolve with some stuff from downstairs. Now this is apparently it's not a toy, whatever, but it's fillable snow globe, which is not exactly the use we're going to do. We're going to have it as a sort of Nixie neon thingy, jiggery doohickey thing, and we've got this sticker which we'll just stick to the wall over here and probably stay there forevermore. In fact, that would ruin the paintwork. I do want to put a monitor on this wall in front of me, so yeah, there's that. So yeah, it's got this like waterproof seal type thing, like silicone sealy thing type thing. But if we just unscrew him and pop this over the top, it kind of fits in quite nicely. In fact, I can straighten them more upwards and outwards. Now luckily, I chose to just hot glue all this in at the bottom, so this will come out quite easily, which is good. And then I can just leave this jar like it is because I can, I don't know, throw some other project in there at some other point. And I just banged my head on the camera, which is pretty typical. And I've forgotten to turn the soldering iron on, so we'll have to delay while we do that by removing the hot glue with the IPA technique. This IPA is a bit on the low side. So that's that bottle kind of been and done with. We've got two little glasses bottles of IPA left. with little glasses cleaning cloths, which is actually quite a useful thing to come with them. Because getting hold of IPA is not always the easiest thing to do in the universe. You certainly can't buy it over the counter in any shops I know of. And boom, look at that. The hot glue just comes up like that. The ingredients on it are basically ingredients. Lutetrol, whatever the fuck that is, isopropyl alcohol in a solute. So I don't know what a solute is. I'm assuming it's just diluted with some water. If anyone can clear that up in the comments, that would be awesome. So we're gonna probably trim it about here where the heat shrink is, just after the heat shrink. Yeah, we'll do that. So somewhere around here, let's move him out the way for now. Dun 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 dun. Alright, so as you can see, world's tidiest workbench. Sadly, we're not doing this one drunk, so we probably won't get such an awesome response. Because, yeah. I tend to go a little more crazy than I normally am when I'm drunk, which can be a good and a bad thing. Because I can do some stupid things. That's it, we want to pull it all off of this completely. That's it. Oh, might need some more IPA. It amazes me how well this works. And boom! Like that. Giving a bit of grief? Not anymore. It's like... It's amazing what you learn just like watching other, you know, channels based on who do this sort of stuff, and it's just like randomly one thing. Oh, by the way, here's a really cool tip that you're probably going to find really useful. Use IPA on hot glue and it removes it. So now we've got these lovely live and neutral just kind of floating around with a plug socket that anyone could lick. We're just going to put him to one side and we can use him for some other random project in the future. Maybe we'll make another one of these that is designed to be more trashy. And we can start to have these flowers more sort of like that. So when they sit in here, they look more like that. They don't go all the way up to the top, and I have been half tempted to actually build another flower, but for now I'm just going to leave it as like the 4, and I can extend them as needed. Because what I'm thinking is we have this sitting through here, the main electronics sort of curled away under here, and then we need something under here that just extends this out. And I do think I have some spaces I can use to raise this off the floor type thing. Because in typical fashion it goes all the way to the bottom, and I don't really want to trim through the threads because that could make things a bit of a pain. So we need a grommet. Oh bollocks, the grommet tray fell out. Not Wallace and Gromit, although Wallace and Gromit are awesome and I love them bits. Fun fact, someone I worked with was actually kind of a bit scared of Wallace and Gromit, found their design a bit freaky and would creep them out. It's always quite interesting the things people find creepy. You never know what it'll be. Sometimes it'll be the most wholesome, awesome things in the universe. Now, in typical fashion, for those of you who don't know, UK plugs all have fuses in. This is a nice little safety feature that the rest of the world really should follow suit. But for some weird reason, in a lot of appliances, you will find 5 amp fuses, and in this day and age, there's not really a lot of devices that really require a 5 amp fuse, because everything's all low power. You could get away with a 3 amp fuse for about 90% of everyday use stuff. So we swap the fuses over. Really, this thing needs a fuse that's like, you know, that is, well, much less. But for now, we're just going to bang in a 5 amp fuse into this kettle lead, chuck it over there, and it can go out to the shed later, because I keep all my power cables in the shed. We'll put the 3 amp in there. Really, you could get away with like a micro amp fuse for this, but they don't really do them, and we'll have him facing out so he looks neat, and then anyone can see what fuse is in there easily, because you can see the 3 amp quite easily staring back at you. Evil digital zoom, there's actually a use for you. Oh, that makes my photography snobby side of me cringe when I do that. So here's the cable restraint thing for the VCR or DVD player I pulled it out of. We don't need that. That can go in this little box next to me. I do want to keep this connector, so I'm probably going to snip it off about here, because then I can reuse that connector and that can go back out to the shed. Now that's a good thing, that nice 90 degree there. We're going to exploit that in for our own malicious purposes. So yeah, we will strip this, and we will not plug it in while it's stripped, because, well, nothing good would come of that. It would probably be quite entertaining what would come of it, but it wouldn't be good. You have to be careful when stripping wires like this. It's very easy to slice into the conductors or the insulators a little too far. Which, as you can probably guess, I've done that in the past. Actually, I don't want to put that in my mouth, because it could have well been eaten by rats or something back when this crap was in the garage at my parents' house, because we had a bit of a mouse problem out there. In fact, this cable looks relatively free of rodent nibblings, because I have discovered in my cable bag there have been cables which have rodent nibblings on. Now this is my set of CK wire strippers that I spent probably too much on them, but hey, they're a good set of wire strippers. You adjust them and basically it's boom, they'll strip any size, even the super micro tiny ones, like really well. So yeah, grabbing yourself a decent set of, at least one decent set of strippers is a good thing to do. Because these ones don't, although I like these ones because they're convenient, they don't want to strip it properly. Same with the Aldi ones, which are, I don't even know where the Aldi ones are right now. But these ones will give you a perfect strip every time, without fail. It's, when you buy the more expensive tools, you kind of realise what you're paying for when you start using them more regularly. That's empty. I can use that elsewhere, but for now we need him out the way. I probably won't be able to find him because he probably flew behind a cabinet or something. We'll never be seen for like 2 years now. We're like, oh, that's where that spray bottle went when I threw it across the room. Yes, Simon, it went over there. So what I'm going to aim for is actually going through the middle. So that means we need the drill. And the drill is downstairs. So I'm going to pause you while I get the drill. Drill acquired, still covered in plaster dust from what I was doing for the parents last night. And we need This is the set I've managed not to break any bits for. You haven't done enough drilling until you have a few of these sets which are filled with mostly broken drill bits. That's how you learn not to be so rough with your drilling. Is by ruining all your best bits. I do believe I actually have some tungsten carbide bits somewhere. Yeah, we'll go with 10mm. Actually, no, we'll go with 8mm because that'll give a bit more thingamabob, whatever you may call it, doohickey. But yeah, if you want a good schematic of this circuit, go to Big Clive's website and then just improvise it on your own. Nice, they provide a nice thing. I'll try and do this in shots so you can see what I'm doing. Try not to drill my fingers apart because they're very close to the actual drill. And talking about them being very close to the actual drill, the drill bit actually skimmed one of my fingers. No blood was drawn though, which was good. This drill's actually pretty good. Okay, it's useful for drilling through brick, but it's actually pretty tough because, well, it gets a lot of abuse from me, and I tend to use it as a mallet quite a lot. I don't actually own a mallet, so I tend to use my drill. Which, I know, it's totally against what you should do, but, you know, practicality and all that. How are we doing on battery? Oh, we're doing okay. Awesome. I had the live stream go die on me, so that was fun. I don't want the video to go die on me because then this becomes a in fact then you don't get to see it get completed basically because I just carry on. Right, this thing needs to come out. It's like, this is almost like one of those food seal things. This might actually be better just to trim off with scissors these little loose bits. Loose bits, not bitch. Must be my weird speech thing I have coming into play. Yes, I technically actually have a diagnosed speech disorder. To this day I still don't know what the hell it's supposed to be. But I think I figured it out over the years with struggling to communicate to people. What is it? Speech spasmodic pragmatic disorder or whatever the bloody hell however you say it. I think it basically means you struggle to say certain words. Which would make sense actually, because there's a lot of words I can't say to this day. Okay, we need to drill a bigger hole. I should have gone with a 10mm bit. 10mm bit it is. Only that's not the best 10mm bit because, well, yeah, that. Think, Simon, think. Ah, I know what you can do. Grab my angle grinder bits. Yes, I'm using a drill for angle grinder bits, which, yeah, came with... No, not angle grinder bits, but bench grinder, that's it, because Aldi do them for about 30 quid and they are an absolute bloody bargain. And I brought one of their bench grinders for about 30 quid, and it's pretty awesome actually. And he lives on the shelf with the all that good jazz. He lives on the shelf like an elf. These rubber grommets can be a bit awkward and fiddly to get in. Oh, I forgot to put the bit in the drill. Yeah, you get a real live view of what this kind of shenanigans is like. One thing that drives me mad with phones is their capacity to do vertical video. That's ruined at least one video like this I've tried, where it's been by default in vertical video, and it's like, who the hell in their right mind would want to film in bloody vertical video? Why the hell is that even a feature on these things? You know, we might have to do without this thing. Maybe not, hang on. I kind of want to include it, but I'm not entirely sure how, so... yeah, let me just figure something out. Yeah, let's do that. Round and round and round will it go? Well, it goes. Where will it stop? Nobody cares. This almost feels like that sugar paper you can eat. It's like made out of polystyrene-y type stuff. I would not recommend eating it. Although I probably would try, because I have a weird thing with eating things I shouldn't. Seriously, I do. It's ruining my teeth. Ever since I was little, I've chewed on everything inside, and it absolutely destroys your teeth. The other thing that destroys your teeth, wisdoms. Wisdom teeth can go to hell. That's what we want. Awesome. Awesome sauce. Then we pop this up through here. We can do that like that. Then we'll find some suitable spacers to put some feet on the bottom. So yeah, we got this. We got this figured out. Right, try not to break the neons. Did you know there are some of the neons that don't ever light? See? Through heat shrink. Boom. Strips it perfectly. Good luck doing that on the other ones. I know, because I tried. I maybe did it a bit too... yeah, we'll redo those, because I didn't realise that was thicker. And we kind of took off too many pores. So that is... yeah, that's definitely... there we go, so that should be about right. And it is. And the heat shrink is not a problem like it is for a lot of other heat shrink strippers. Wire strippers. These ones are, for anyone interested, are CK MA21Bs. I think I got them at one of those Wix or something, one of those places you can only get it where you look through the catalogue in the store, and then you order it, because I was looking for something like that, some decent wire strippers. Because I've even hit the point that I had two of these because they were thrown in the skip at uni, and one set I broke, so they ended up back in the skip at uni. As it turns out, they weren't very good for stripping mains cable. It just bulked them. But before I had any strippers, I used to use scissors. Because believe it or not, scissors can make a surprisingly effective wire stripper, and I'll demonstrate. You generally wanted a set of sharp scissors. You just do it a little bit like that. A little bit like that. Occasionally you do it too much and you'd snip too far. Then you pull off the end. Sometimes you'd need a set of pliers. And boom. You'd have your end stripped. To do it with these is impossible, as I shall demonstrate. Done. 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 Oh, hang on. Oh my god, this might be the first time I actually successfully strip these with wire cutters. No. It's still hanging in there. These are still useless for wire stripping. Don't ever use wire cutters for stripping. It's useless. Use a pair of scissors if you don't have anything else. Tips from the EEPROM 9. Tips from years and years and years of doing this. I don't want to use him. As you can see, I'm still in desperate need to actually order some heat shrink. I should make a list, because then I wouldn't keep forgetting to order the things I need. That would be a really, really good idea. Don't worry, I'll forget to make the list. Guaranteed. The bundle of fun that is. Right, let's pop them on this side. They're all soldered and ready to go. Making these things is actually kind of fun. Oh, he only just fits over that. Don't know if he's going to come off or not then. Nope, he's not going to come off. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the heat... No, we can't put the heat shrink on from the other side. How annoying. Hang on. I might have an idea. It's risky, but it's an idea. Mission Impossible music plays here. Insert Mission Impossible music. Scene where he's going down to hack the mainframe from the ceiling. God, that particular scene out of that film, it's the only scene I remember from the film. The amount of times that's been parodied. Oh my god. And the context of it from hacking a computer has been changed to like stealing diamonds and God knows what else. The only trouble with silicon is everything bloody sticks to it, so all the grot on the workbench is sticking to it. So that's fun. The nice thing about this is we don't need the earth. And that's one less conductor, which gives me a lot more options for power cables, because surprise, surprise, I don't have many three-way power cables. Oh, I just found my Aldi wire strippers. I just elbowed them. Thank you, elbow. I wonder if you can see my head in this shot. I know some of them you get a bit of a shot of my bonds. Alright, live is in live. I'm assuming the colour code is correct from the plug. It is actually from a proper product and not some random thing from China. So we should be alright there. The blowtorch, so yes, a video you get flames. Okay, flames not necessarily being used in the most exciting way possible, but a productive way. It's the exact reason I brought my blowtorch, because I wanted something to do heat shrink with. And I do have a heat gun, yes. I got it for a £5 at B&Q. It's in one of these drawers. But I don't often use it. I've used it for some SMT stuff and that's about it. Don't use it for anything like this or heat shrink and that. I prefer my little mini handheld blowtorch. You know, it fits in the palm of your hand. And random bits of electrical tape stick to it. And you can stick googly eyes to it and call it Mr. Burns. And it's up at temperature instantly. So it's got all the advantages that an electric one just doesn't. So yeah, red goes to red, blue goes to green. Oh, hello again. You can go over towards the bin. Right, we need to make 2 holes in this now. What shall we use to make 2 holes? Because I don't want it to be sliced, because I kind of want the whole cables to go through separately. Oh, we could use an Allen key. So that is roughly, yeah, it's roughly that, so. One hole. 2 hole. Boom! Bum bum bum, or bam bam, like Bam Bam from the Flintstones. Flintstones was quite an odd show. I liked the majority of the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons. Both the really vintage ones and the later ones from the 90s. Right, this is where we discover these aren't going to go through these holes very easily, isn't it? Yeah, perhaps not. That one went through alright. The metal parts of the wires are being a bit of a pain, so we can move those out of the way. We can trim them down a bit. There we goes. Right, I do think I will give these a bit of a retrim actually, just to make life easier. So, because these obviously haven't held up well. Now this is where, when you've got different sizes of wire, these ones aren't quite so convenient. So this is where I do tend to use the these ones. Is when I'm dealing with multiple size wiring, because, well, that's just quicker and easier. Then what we'd do is fold him in half to get a bit extra thing. Same with this one, put a blob of solder on there so it holds in place. Now I have heard that you're not really supposed to use terminal blocks with soldered connections. Now I'm not entirely sure why that is, so if someone can elaborate on that for me, or whether it's just another one of these weird myths that exists, do let me know. Because there's a lot of weird myths that exist in electronics, and that. It's kind of, you wouldn't expect it to be a subject that a whole bunch of myths exist, but they do. Just look at the whole electrostatic thing. It's like, what was it? Akabu Tech Tangents, as he renamed himself to, because that's a name everyone can actually pronounce. He went through the whole thing on static thing, and most of the information out there, surprise, surprise, is given out by the companies that sell the anti-static stuff. So of course it's horse shit, because they want you to buy their products. Have I been off screen? Oh, he's done that, hasn't he? Naughty thing. I thought that was on screen. Sorry. When I go off screen, you are to boo. Yeah, I know it's live. It's a joke. Oh, this one's being a real mongrel to get in. Yeah, I see you. I see what you're doing. Right, okay, so that looks about right. Okay, let's just do these up nice and tight. No such thing as over tightening these screw terminals, in my opinion. Now we pull these through like this. So as you can see, they stick up of their own accord, which is the whole point. And now we will test them to make sure everything's all hooked up correctly. So at this point they're live and they are all working. And fun fact, when you touch the neons, you can make them all glow. At least some of the less stubborn ones. Anyway, we'll unplug him because we're not going to be working on him with live mains. That will not end well. After all, we're not trying to end up dead. We're trying to make a nice little decoration. Alright, this is the bit that's going to be a bit awkward, I reckon. So... he can go out that way. You should go out over here, him up here. Yeah, that's about right. That's about right, yeah. Now bearing in mind this is silicone, you're not exactly going to be able to glue to it. So okay, that's holding in, good. Now this is a bit awkward to screw in, especially when it does that. You saw that little trick? Okay, good. We've got him screwed in. He does actually go all the way up to the top, surprisingly. The only thing I'm not 100% on is the fact that those two are too pointing up. But it turns out it's not too difficult to get these in, so that's fine. So he can go out more. Oh, same with him. Yeah, make it a bit more three-dimensional, thus more interesting looking. Pop him back in. Oh no. Right, where's my pliers? Here they are, actually. Tweezers would be better. Tweezers would be better in this case. Yeah, that's good. That's kind of how we want him to sit, but because of the way the wires are going, it doesn't always make them sit how you want them to, if you get what I mean. Okay, good. Now we can do our special pressure wire. And now I'm going to pause the video while I go and get my pad things. Battery level is good, good. So I've dug out from under the cupboard under the stairs, which is the opposite of my workbench and is actually really tidy and organised. So I was able to find these things. This doesn't live under there. This is some nice double-sided stuff that will help add some material. We'll go in my little box here, and we got some felt feet that we can use. I don't know how many, I don't think we have any of the smaller ones left anymore. We have 3 of those, which is about the right size. I wanted to use 4. Well, we can certainly use 4 then. Awesome! I can still use 4, that makes me happy. What else is in this box? There's all kinds of random stuff in here. Yeah, bits of blind and that, all that good jazz. So that can go back downstairs and back into the cupboard so I can find it again next time I need it. Oh, it's just ice cream boxes, keep them, they are so useful. So yeah, small square. Small square. Right, okay, so scissors. Hey, 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 kids, it's Krusty the Clown. Krusty, Krusty, Krusty the Clown. Why is it? You watch everyone online with this double-sided tape and they have amazing luck with it, and then you try and use it in the real world and it turns out to be a steaming pile of dog shit. Because I can't help but notice it's not sticking to the bottom of this thing very well. And we might just end up using 3 just out of convenience. I hate to have to use an odd number, but I don't see much opportunity in this, much choice in this situation. Yeah, I haven't had much luck with double-sided sticky tape in my life. On the occasions you can actually find it, because it's not as common as, say, normal sellotape, it ends up being like absolutely rubbish in most cases. Okay, cool. Oh, whoops. Pulled too much of that. Actually, I can use that to my advantage. Because I can do exactly what you're not supposed to do with cables and crush them into position. Watch for the sparks. And the sparks go wide. Oh, did you see that? I pushed it up in there, and what does it do? It does that. How annoying. Anyway, let's just continue with the feet. The awkward, annoying feet. I might end up going buggering and sticking like some feet from a test equipment on it at this rate. Which would be a very Simon way of going about the problem. Because I do actually have feet off the bottom of test equipment and things I've taken apart. Because the uni were buggers for throwing away test equipment, and some of it was just kind of like unrecoverable or just like weird obscure stuff you'd never have a use for in a home lab. This is turning out to be a very long video, considering when you consider the context of what we're actually doing isn't that complicated. What's your bet these will fall off in like a week and I'll be changing these to something that's not shit? I suspect very high. It's actually the first time I've used this stuff, and the 3M stuff is supposed to be good, so I was expecting at least something decent from this. We'll see if it bonds over time. Sometimes this stuff needs time to sort of bond to the item you stuck it to. It's not like I've stuck it to the silicone, because, well, the only thing that sticks to silicone is silicone. I know that because I've been there and tried it. Boom. Okay, so next one is that. So we need to unscrew him again and get him back in position. So yeah, the more you're messing around with the cables, the more you're going to mess it up. Oh, you poor fools, you don't get to see what's going on. You don't get to see me cutting tape. Oh, how rivetingly exciting it is. Oh, I'm getting hungry. I got got mussels in the fridge downstairs, so I'll probably have them. Mum brought them round, otherwise I'll probably go get a McDonald's. You know, just add to the bubble gut that's ever growing. Because I don't go out doing bike rides to the station every day and all that crap. I don't miss the commute at all. Commuting's bullshit. So I'll make sure when this COVID's over to get favourable work from home terms. And for future jobs, in fact. Because this should be a lesson to companies that, well, staff don't always need to be there as much as you think they do. And it also means I'm closer to my fortress of solitude in my workshop. That when I finish for the day, I can just get off my laptop, walk literally a metre across the room, probably less, and sit down in this chair and tinker. And that is a fantastic thing to be able to do. It's so good for my mental health, you wouldn't believe it. Whereas commuting, that is not good for my mental health. That is the opposite for my mental health. See what I mean? He bent back. There's no amount you can't clamp him. So we will do just that. With our certified, VAPA certified work zone clamp. It's got to be good if it's certified. I wonder how many people are cringing as I literally stick a power cable in a vise. Don't worry, there's no power going through it. We're merely trying to morph it into what we want it to do. Health and safety is of the utmost importance, he lied. As Simon sniggered at the concept of taking health and safety seriously. No, health and safety these days is just weaponised to give excuse